What's up? It's Flicarguy back with another video. Same day, different video. So now we have the Maserati Ghibli behind me. Behind me. And we're gonna take a quick look at this Ghibli and see, is it worth it? Is it a nice car? Is it the cheap Maserati or whatever people say about it? It kind of gets some flack for, not being the big boy, but we will take a look and see what we feel. So this is a 2014 Maserati Ghibli. So this is the first year of Maserati making their entry-level vehicle to compete with like the 5 Series and the E-Class, because they always had the Gran Turismo and the Quattroporte as their full-size sedan, and the Gran Turismo was their coupe. So in 2014, they decided to bring in something entry-level to compete in that more mid-market luxury category. So this is the result. As you can see, it's distinctively Maserati. That emblem is what people love more than anything, is that emblem, but it has a pretty mean, aggressive look to it. Pretty low, mean look. So Maseratis have always been good-looking cars, good-sounding cars. As you can see, all the distinctive Maserati stuff, like your 3 ports on the side, and of course your big Brembo brakes, like pretty much every Maserati comes with. But again, this was more geared at the 5 Series, E-Class. I guess they wanted to compete in this mid luxury market. So in 2014, they introduced this car. Might not see it on the camera, but it's a bit smaller than the Quattroporte. It's not as long. Come around back here, Q4. So they have a basic Ghibli entry level that's just rear wheel drive. Q4 is their 4-wheel drive system. So it is a car that you can drive year round. Don't have to worry about sliding all over the place if you have a half decent set of tires, because you do have the all-wheel drive. I'm gonna do a startup so you can hear how these pipes sound, because again, Maserati's always been known for sound and nice interiors. So you can see it has the quad exhaust. This particular model of the Maserati, I believe, has the twin turbo V6 as well, just like the Levante I showed earlier. But depending on the trim, this V6 can be 404 horsepower, or the entry level one is the same 345 as in the SUV. So we're gonna get a little start up on this Maserati Ghibli. So again, most of these are gonna look the same. Yeah, it's not cleaned up because it's not prepped for sale yet, so don't mind that. But yeah, so you have your twin turbo V6 under here, makes about 404 horsepower, and as you heard, has a great sound. So gas mileage shouldn't be horrible because it's not a big V8 like in some of the older cars, and it moves this vehicle pretty well. And like you said, it's all-wheel drive, so you have the all-wheel drive traction. So all in all, it's grown on me a lot. When I first saw it, I wasn't a big fan of the Ghibli because I'm like, oh, it's the baby Maserati, it's the cheaper Maserati. But at the end of the day, it's still a Maserati, and it's still built the same way that the other ones are. So to me, it's all good. Look at that, you got the dual latches to secure the hood, so it's not like they really cheaped out or cut any corners on it. Let's take a look inside. again, let's turn this off so we don't hear the beeping. So again, inside you'll notice they do a real good job with their interiors. You have leather, double stitched here. We have carbon fiber inlay, this nice brushed aluminum. I can't tell if it's actually brushed aluminum or if it's plastic, but it definitely looks like brushed aluminum, so that's a nice touch. And then you see it has the red to break up the door. Now what you might notice if you drive a Chrysler or a Dodge is that a lot of the stuff in the parts bin is from some of the Chrysler cars. So this might be familiar from a 300, Journey, stuff like that. Same switches, same thing, because they do share parts bins. Same thing if you look at the switch for the headlights, some of the stuff will look real familiar to you if you have a Chrysler vehicle. Nice little touches though that are distinctly Maserati. You have the Maserati pedals, brushed aluminum down there, and again you have these nice red seats with the logos embossed. So again, that's something that they always seem to get right, is they have really nice interiors. Oh, let's take a seat down in here. Sit pretty low in here, but look at the detail. There's even stitching on the leather around the clock here. Again, these vehicles brand new are probably in the 80K range or so and up, depending on what kind of features and options and motor options and all that stuff you get. But again, nice used version of the car you could probably get for around 40K, 45K. So it's good and bad. If you're getting the car new, it's bad, but if you're in the market for something nice and used, then it's great for you, because you can get something that's worth a lot more money without paying all of that money. So again, gauges are nice, blue background, 310 on the dash. And again, you'll notice this system looks like it's from a Chrysler, because it is. So you have that same Uconnect system that you'd find in a lot of their vehicles. You can do climate, you can do your heated seats and everything through there. But again, I won't go too much into that because that's like some of the basic stuff. And again, you have carbon fiber in the middle here, and you have your traction control, manual transmission mode, ICE, sport, which opens up those valves so the exhaust goes nuts. Have an SD card, probably for the navigation. And yeah, overall, it's just a nice put together. You have this, it's not Alcantara, but it's a soft touch material for the headliner. And let's talk about this. So, another big improvement on the new Maseratis over the old Maseratis is now they finally stepped into the 20th century with, you know, push button start and remote start and all that kind of stuff that you'd never be able to get on a Maserati back in the day. So that's another advantage of them being aligned with the Fiat Chrysler brand, is that now you get a lot of that technology because it's already developed for all the other cars. So you get these amenities that you never used to have in some of these luxury brands when they were solely made in the small independent build houses. Now if you look, back seats still have all the nice treatment, but this is one of the disadvantages of the smaller Ghibli. Just like, again, it's not a knock on Maserati alone. It's the same thing if you go into a C-Class or a 5 Series or whatever. If you look at your legroom, if you're over 5'10" or so, you're not gonna wanna sit back here. I'm gonna get in and see. Okay, so I'm here in the back seat. It's actually not that bad. I don't know if you can see, but I have, this is back to my head, I have a good enough headroom. I'm 5'11", 6 feet in some sneakers, so I don't know, you could consider me to be a average 6 foot guy, and there's good headroom back here. My knees are, if you can see, the knees are, let me turn it here. the knees are right against the back of the seat. How it was in the front, I had a ton of space, so that's how it's sit in the front. But as you can see, my knees are right in the back here, so I can still do it, but over a long ride, it would be uncomfortable for someone my height. But if you just have, calm up here. If you just have kids in the back, or it's really usually just you in the car or whatever, and you know your people's jump in the back every once in a while, it's not a big deal. It's nice and comfortable. The seats are nice. You have all the same like leather and stuff in the back here, so it's not a bad place to be. You can see Bloody Mary seats. They always have these nice interiors, these red seats with the logos embossed in the headrest and stuff like that, carbon fiber all over the place. But what do you think? Do you think that having a entry-level Maserati is something that cheapened their brand? Like, would you want to drive the Maserati that's like known as the cheap Maserati, or what are your thoughts? To me, I think getting where you fit in, because if you look at Mercedes, BMW has the 2 Series, the 3 Series, the 4 Series, 5 Series, 6, 7, all the way through, so that can satisfy all of their customers. Same thing with Mercedes. They have their A-Class, C-Class, E, G, all the way up as well. So I think it was a smart move for Maserati to get something into the mid-level game to compete with the rest of these luxury guys, because for a long time Maserati was a low volume brand, because you know everything's still Italian. It's an Italian car company, so you know they were not making cars anywhere close to the magnitude as some of the luxury rivals. So to me, I read recently that they recently built their 100,000th Ghibli, so that's something major. 100,000 cars might not seem like a lot for, you know, BMW or Mercedes standard, but for a relatively smaller Italian brand, it's kind of a milestone. So I mean, I think why not? For, again, brand new, I think they're kind of overpriced, but you get a decent used one for, you know, half the price of retail, or half the price of new, and it's only a year or two old. To me, that's a bargain, because it's still a $70,000 or $80,000 car at the end of the day. It just so happens that through depreciation, you can now get into this nicer car. Like, would you rather drive a Maserati for $45,000 that's, you know, 2 or 3 years old, or would you rather drive a brand new Nissan or Toyota or something? For me, the Maserati is way nicer. It has a nice sound, the red seats, and there's that bit of prestige that comes with the brand. Like, people see a Maserati pull up, it's noticed, so you get to be in that, you know, be a part of that thing where you're a baller, or you're at least on the come up or on your way up or whatever. So to me, I think it's cool. I personally, for me, just like I had this conversation about the AMG 43s or whatever, for me, I like having the top with a line of stuff. It's just the way I've been. But if you don't really care about all of that, to me, to have a nice little car, I mean, the car is comfortable, and like I said, it's good and bad. It has the parts and stuff in it from Chrysler, but that's also a good thing, because before, when everything is hand built in Italy and stuff like that, something breaks or goes wrong, like parts are stupid expensive, low availability, because it has to be brought in from Italy or Europe or whatever. And so that in itself is a whole big thing. Now with parts borrowed from Chrysler, it's kind of like, if you have an issue with your car, a lot of times it's not going to cost as much to service or repair things, because now it's borrowing parts that are in, you know, millions of other vehicles. So that also helps the consumer at the end of the day. So I don't know, however you look at it. For me, I wouldn't do the Ghibli as an entry level. I like the bigger cars, so I'd want the top of the line stuff. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, to have an all-wheel drive vehicle that has this type of luxury and leather, plus has that Maserati logo at under 50K Canadian, can't lose to me. So anyways, that's just my quick look. I don't know if I'll be able to come back and actually take a drive and stuff or whatever. Like right now, I'm just gonna give you guys a quick little overview of these cars in case you might not have seen inside of them and was wondering what it's like inside or wanted some info about it. But again, 400 horsepower, all-wheel drive, sounds great as you heard in the startup. To me, it's a win.